All right, today I thought it would be really fun to look at some of the strangest ways that your ex can show that they love you. Now, we've done multiple videos on this YouTube channel about signs that your ex still wants you back or signs that your ex still loves you, but I thought this would be kind of a unique spin on it, which is looking at those signs that are so weird and awkward you wouldn't think they are signs that an ex loves you or still cares about you, but they really are. But before we begin, if you could do me a gigantic favor and make sure that you like this YouTube video so that you can help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and if it's not too much to ask, if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, as that would help us out tremendously and show YouTube that our videos are high quality, or at least you guys believe that they are. All right, so the first big strange sign that I believe an ex still sort of falling in love with you is something that we've called future pacing. The future pacing is something that we have talked about on the YouTube channel before, but a lot of people just kind of push it under the rug and don't really talk much about it or think much of it, because in a way it's very similar to a Freudian slip. So here's how future pacing works. Essentially, your ex just makes some offhand comment about the two of you doing something together in the future. Now, why would they do this? Simply put, it really does depend on the context. It is possible that they're just joking around and having fun with you, but in my experience, that's usually not the case. What they're usually doing is testing the waters to see how you would feel about that potential outcome. So it is a sign that they not only still care about you, but they are still in love with you. The next big sign is showing you love through an opposite love language to yours. Now, we've all heard about the 5 love languages. You have quality time, acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Now, we all have a unique love language, or at least a preference for one of the 5. But it's not like we don't like all of the others, we just have a preference for one of them. Now, the reason I believe this is kind of an interesting, strange, or weird way to show love is because of the different wavelengths that are happening. Sometimes if you aren't familiar with the psychology of love languages, you might not even know your own, and you might not even know your ex's. And so sometimes there can be this weird disconnect, especially if your ex expresses their love in their love language to you, and it's the opposite of your love language. So you take this weird thing that they're doing, like giving you a gift or doing some sort of favor for you, as strange. Like, why don't they just tell me what they want? Why won't they just tell me that they love me? And that's probably because in the example that I'm giving you here, your ex has a completely different love language than yours. Your love language may be words of affirmation. Their love language may be acts of service. So you can see the disconnect going on there. Real quick, I want to say that if you're new to this YouTube channel or you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get your ex back, and you're trying to learn if you even have a chance in your specific circumstance, probably the smartest thing for you to do is actually stop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, or take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz that can be found at exboyfriendrecovery.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, taking that free quiz is super easy to do. All you have to simply do is look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can fill it out and get an easy answer on what you should be doing going forward and overall what your chances look like in your specific situation. All right, so let's get you back to the video. Now, the next big strange sign that your ex still cares about you or still loves you is weight fluctuation. So there's been a recent study done that looked at marital satisfaction, and here's what they found. There's a marital satisfaction survey that basically says the more weight you gain in the early stages of marriage, the more happy you are in that marriage. And I can actually personally attest to this. I gained 10 pounds at the beginning of my marriage, and I was incredibly happy. But it's not just weight gain. So we do know kind of like weight gain is a weird way of like falling in love, but also weight loss is a great way of determining whether someone is like in love with you. And there's an actual scientific reason behind this. Not all couples will gain weight. So studies of oxytocin that is produced in people who are in love show that it reduces hunger and regulates a metabolism. So the butterflies you feel in your stomach might also indicate that you're losing weight. So pay attention to your ex's social media pictures, especially during summer season when they're going to the beach and they have their shirt off. If you're noticing a bit of weight fluctuation from really skinny to really heavy, it's a good sign that they're very affected by your breakup. Sign number 4, bringing up details about your relationship that you completely forgot. This is the least weird of them all, in my opinion, because this is something that really isn't that weird. But here's how it works. You and your ex are talking, and they bring up a bunch of details about your relationship that are so minuscule that you completely forgot they existed. Now, why is this important? Well, it means your ex is doing a lot of hardcore thinking on the least important details of your relationship, meaning they're going over it constantly in their head, night after night, trying to dissect it, trying to understand it, and they're talking to you about it to get your feedback on it. And in a weird way, it's also a test to see if you remember or are thinking as much about the relationship as they are. And finally, sign number 5, or at least strange sign number 5, is people in love can't fall asleep. So this, again, isn't weird, but it's something that no one thinks about to check. And I think this is especially relevant during the texting and phone call phases of the value ladder that we teach. So here's how this works. People in love can't fall asleep, or at least people enamored can't fall asleep. So if you notice that you are having longer and longer conversations via text message with your ex, and they're staying up really late at night, and they're getting up on 2 or 3 hours of sleep, not only is it a great indicator that they still care about you, but it's a great indicator that they're in love with you, because guess what? They don't just stay up and miss out on sleep for anybody. I know I personally wouldn't, and I personally did. So weirdly enough, looking at your ex's sleep patterns can be a great indicator to give you an insight into their state of mind. Now, there are definitely more weird signs that an ex still cares about you, or weird things that your ex has done to show you that they care about you, but we don't have time to just go totally in depth on each one of those. Luckily for you, you can leave a comment below and just tell us some of your own personal experiences of weird things exes have done to try to win you back, and that will give us great indicators or maybe even some funny stuff to talk about. But if you haven't, make sure you like this YouTube video so that you can help us out with the algorithm. Also, if you haven't taken the X Recovery Chances quiz that I talked about towards the beginning of this video, make sure you do so. Taking the quiz is very simple. Just look in the description link below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. It will give you an idea of what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back after you take that quiz. So I'll see you guys later.